John Fraser, NRA ILA's Director of Research and Information, with us on the program tonight. John, thanks for your time.
Always happy to be on, Cam.
All right, so the ATF has is taking public comments on its website until the end of this month, and you all at NRA ILA are reporting this is with regard to how it should determine what type of projectiles meet the sporting purposes exception to the federal quote-unquote armor-piercing ammunition law. So what exactly is going on here, John?
Well, what's going on here, Cam, is in a kind of process that agencies go through a lot. But specifically, let me back up with a little background. Back in the early '80s, when the media and some anti-gun lawmakers really kind of manufactured a hysteria about armor-piercing ammunition. The result was legislation that was very narrowly and carefully drafted so that it prohibits projectiles that may be used in a handgun and that are made out of certain metals that are harder than traditional bullet materials. So metals like steel, brass, tungsten, depleted uranium, and so forth. Well, we don't see a lot of depleted uranium, but
they're always out of the depleted uranium bullets. Yeah. Every time I go to Cabela's, it's the weirdest thing.
Yeah. But Congress was aware that people did use some of these types of metals in some ammunition for hunting, for target shooting, and so on, and that they sometimes even used them in specialty handguns like Thompson Contenders and things like that are chambered to fire rifle cartridges. And so Congress included an exemption which says that any cartridge can be exempt if the Secretary finds that it's primarily intended for sporting purposes. Secretary of the Treasury at the time, it's the Attorney General now, but in the real world it's ATF. And so ATF has now been sitting for more than a year on a couple of dozen exemption requests from manufacturers who are trying to say, hey, we want to make this kind of non-lead bullet. We want you to certify that it's primarily intended for sporting purposes and that you're not going to treat it as armor-piercing ammunition. And ATF is scratching its head over how to best approach these from a legal and policy standpoint, and that's what they've been held a series of meetings on, and they're seeking public comments about.
Okay. So what, if anything, should gun owners be making public comments?
Yeah. If your listeners are out there as they thinking about the uses of the of non-lead ammunition, basically, or anything that's made of any of these harder types of materials, for sporting purposes, it's a good idea to let ATF know about that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this came to a head, for example, because of a company that was making very specialized solid brass bullets loaded in varmint hunting cartridges.
Right.
And that there was a raid, and his inventory was seized, and it got a lot of circulation on the internet for a few weeks, and that's part of what's inspired this, apparently.
Now, as you all point out in your alert, BATFE. Quote, also expressed concern that since the law was adopted, various new rifle caliber handguns have been invented. What is the concern, John, that this is basically an attempt by the Obama administration via regulation as opposed to legislation to go after these, in other words, to try to enact gun control via regulation, even if it's not a sweeping semi-auto ban, to make life difficult and onerous for gun owners?
Well, there's a significant concern over because it's something that's happened in the past. In the Clinton administration, they ruled that that 7.62 by 39 millimeter rifle ammunition with a steel core would be considered armor-piercing ammunition because it may be used in a handgun, and that's when certain handguns chambered for that rifle cartridge first came to mind. But actually, when Congress drafted the statute, it was really trying to exclude things that are primarily rifle cartridges, even if they could be used in some unusual handgun, because Congress actually enacted a part of the statute actually says that for purposes of this, a handgun is something that is designed to be fired with a single hand, and things like Thompson contenders and such really are designed to be fired with two hands.
Mm-hmm.
We've argued that for 25 years with the agency.
Talking with John Fraser, NRA ILA's Director of Research and Information. And again, public comment being taken until the end of the year. John, do we know when the ATF may come out with its new proposed rule?
No. The issue's been percolating for about a year and a half, and they'll take comments until December 31st, and then have to assess what they hear, and they're on their own timetable after that. Obviously, the people who have requests pending want to bring some products to the market to satisfy the needs of hunters and shooters. So we hope it'll be quick, and we also hope that they'll get it right.
Absolutely. John, thank you again, sir, for coming on the program. Good talking to you tonight, and hope we can do it again very soon.
Always a pleasure, Cam.
John Fraser, NRA ILA's Director of Research and Information. Join us here tonight on Cam & Company.